Well, two things. You can tell people all you want, whether they listen to you or not, that's up to them. The other thing I would say is, like anywhere in the world, there are thousands and thousands of people doing amazing work that you never find out about because they've been able to stop the problem before it happened. And what you see are the great crashes, and we love the spectacular in media. We love heroes and villains. We love Dennis Rodman, because it makes us interesting. It makes him look, I don't want Bland. I don't want Joe Montana. I don't want Derek Jeter all the time. I want the people who are going to blow up all the time. A lot of people didn't like Caitlin Clark because she was kind of playing the middle, and you wanted controversial, you wanted something else, and she wasn't giving you that because she was giving you her authentic self. So the best people in any business are the ones who are able to listen, define what their message is, and then continue to say the same thing over and over again to make sure that they're reaching the audience that they want to reach, because you have all the power, not the person asking the questions.
I like it. I'm glad you mentioned Caitlin Clark, because I do want to ask you about that. So I've been following the battle between Caitlin Clark and Angela Reese. Angel Reese for a while. And I came across, I have a lot of thoughts on it. I'm not trying to ruin my career and talk about it totally, and I'm not as versed in sports as you are. But she made a mention about how Caitlin Clark, she talked about how Black women are the reason the WNBA exists, and all the credit and power goes to them. I'm here because of them, and we need to help raise marginalized voices, and there's people that were jumping in the conversation saying, yes, we have to highlight and support diversity, equity, inclusion initiatives, and these are all white people that were saying this. And I thought counterintuitively around this. I thought, wow, okay, she's giving a compliment to Black women that have created the sport, which is beautiful. It's something that needs to be said. But I was also like, you're actually the minority in this business. Like, you're the minority, so your voice needs to be highlighted, not necessarily the Black women's voices. I'm just thinking counterintuitive from a business perspective. And then I was also thinking to myself, for her to say that made me think, wow, that reminds me of that exhibit I saw at the African American History Museum, which is a video that talks about the exporting of the NBA and how, people are going to other countries and training other, teams and coaches, and they're bringing more white players into the NBA. And at some point, the NBA is going to, look a lot different than it does now. And then I was thinking to myself, well, maybe this is the move. I know this is me thinking, okay, this is my own personal opinion. Maybe this is the move. The WNBA needs to raise money. They need more money, and they need to bring, women in that, men like to look at maybe. And maybe that's why there's this battle going on. It's a battle between white women and Black women in basketball. And it disturbs me. I'm very disturbed by this. And I told you in the beginning, I'm not like a statistic sports fanatic person that's been following this my whole life, but I look at this battle and I feel like it's bigger than just these two tremendous women athletes. I feel like it's really it's a conversation of who's going to control the WNBA and who's going to represent the WNBA, and we don't necessarily want it to be Black women anymore. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's me looking at it from an outside perspective, and I know that I'm not alone in this perspective. And I'm just really curious, what you think about this whole conversation, because that LinkedIn thing, I was involved in that conversation. It got really bananas really quick.
Mm-hmm. So I grew up in Brooklyn, in a very mixed race neighborhood. Was around basketball my whole life. I didn't see things as much as literally black and white. I think at the end of the day, both Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark are amazing for the WNBA, are amazing for sports overall, because they brought conversations together that would not be happening, like you just mentioned. So the question is, how do you reach a solution? Now, someone who's always got a microphone in front of them in the spotlight will slip up from time to time and may not think about what they're saying sometimes and may say the wrong thing. But I think that there is nothing wrong with the amount of players, amazing athletes, who are going to be given a stage now going forward because of what Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and many of the players before them have opened up. And that's the growth of any kind of business, is We always worry about, what happened to the pioneers? Where did they go? Well, the pioneers are still here, but the opportunities that they created are going to continue to grow because at the end of the day, it's something we want to watch. We want to know more about their personalities, and we can do that 24/7 now. And whether we like them, whether we dislike them, we want to watch because it's an interesting story. We love good stories. We don't want bland.
Yeah.
And that's what athletes do for us all the time, whether it's the Olympics, the NBA, the NFL,